Welcome back to the GBEV stage. The next segment, incredibly important. We must trust Black women, and with that, we must redefine the future of bodily autonomy, maternal health, sexuality, and culture for our collective liberation. And now on the Global Black Economic Forum stage, Executive Director, SisterSong, Monica Simpson. Actress, model, podcaster, Cynthia Bailey. Actress, model, currently appearing on The Chi, Monroe Elise. Executive Director for Southern Birth Justice Network, Jamara Amani. Chief Growth Officer, Spill, Kenya Parham. Founder and Executive Director, New Orleans Black Pride, Nikki Alexander Tumblin. And Executive Director, Feminist Center for Reproductive Liberation, Kwajalen Jackson.
Mic check. Okay, we are on. Hello, beautiful people. Let's have a seat. Hello, good people. How y'all doing? We are here talking about Trust Black Women. We are here talking about reproductive justice. We are committed to this fight for bodily autonomy, and we understand that in order to see that work happen in the ways that we need it to for our communities, it's going to take all of us working across our different sectors, the different ways that we interact with our community in order to build the best strategies to do so. Do you all agree with that? I mean, you're watching the news, right? We understand that the fight for bodily autonomy is real right now. What are some of the things that we've seen in the news so far? Right? Come on, y'all can talk to us too. What have we seen? Everything, right? Healthcare, right? Not giving us what we need. We've seen how Black women are dying more than white women in childbirth, right? Roe v. Wade has now been dismantled. Black women are dying because abortion bans exist, 100%. What are we seeing in the culture? Black history is definitely always on the table, and it's interesting the way that we're seeing that show up, even in the way that we think about our work, right? Well, for you all on this couch and these chairs looking all beautiful, you all enter this conversation from many different entry points. Whether you're talking about it in culture, whether you're living it in your everyday life and the work that you do, you are committed to the fight for bodily autonomy and reproductive justice in so many unique ways. So when you think about the term reproductive justice, which for us is more expansive than just talking about abortion or just talking about our health care, it is our ability to make our own decisions about our bodies and our families and our lives. So when you all hear this term and you hear this work, what comes to mind for you first? And what are you most excited about talking about and bringing into the conversation when we have that opportunity? Kwajalen, can I start with you?
Sure. Hello, everybody. I do reproductive justice every day for my job.
Every day.
But if I was describing it to someone who hadn't heard of it, I would say it is the freedom to be yourself. It is the ability to be able to understand who you are, who you come from, who you are accountable to, and not let anybody disrupt that sovereignty that you have over your body and your life.
Absolutely.
That's what it is at its core. And there are many components. There's a lot of health care that people associate with reproductive justice. But just being able to show up in the world exactly as you are, that's justice to me.
100%. And that's what the Black women thought of when they came together in 1994 to create this movement. Nikki, when you think about reproductive justice, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
I would say my existence in being just a Black queer woman. I believe. Yeah.
100%. What about you, Kenya?
You know, oftentimes we, on the social platforms, we see people defining reproductive justice narrowly as like the fight for abortion, right? But we understand that it's so much bigger than that. It is the right to have a child, the right to decide not to as well, right? And also the right to raise said child in an environment with the adequate resources where they can thrive. And those environments also include the communities that exist on our devices and our phones.
Say that.
Right? And so
Say
as
that.
Chief Growth Officer of the 2-time Apple app of the day,
Come on.
Bill, we are ever interested in ensuring that safety is at the core of our tech builds so that we don't have to fight for our lives in the comments while we're out here fighting for our lives in the streets.
Say that. I love that. Jamara, what about you?
When I think about reproductive justice, I think about human rights.
Yes.
And I think about history.
Yeah.
I think about the fact that we are all born, right? And we all have a right to be born safely, with dignity, to be raised in safe communities, and to raise the next generation in that way as well. Our ancestors gave us so much knowledge and wisdom, and it is our right to claim that, to live that, to breathe that, to develop our communities to be a reflection of who we are and what we deserve. And reproductive justice touches every aspect of our lives. It's not just about what's happening in our bodies, but we experience life through our bodies. And so it does touch every single aspect: economic, housing, right, healthcare, all of the things. And when I think about my children who are here, 3 or 4 of my children are here on the front row, I think about the future and what we want to pass on to them. And I want to pass on to them a reproductive justice future.
I love that. You talked about how it meets and builds power at the intersections, how it's rooted in human rights, and how it is about thinking about how we build a future that our children, right, can take on and thrive in as well. Monroe, how does it show up for you? What does it mean for you?
The first word that came to my mind is freedom of body autonomy. Yeah. Being able to fix, manage, and control your body however you choose to. Yes. Having the freedom to exist and resist whatever you do not or do want, right?
That's right.
And having the audacity to live in that truth and live in that freedom.
Yeah. I love that. The bodily autonomy part of this is so incredibly important. And, the Cynthia Bailey, we love Cynthia Bailey, right? I'm interested in hearing your answer to this too, because you, of course, are in the culture every day, but you are also a person who has moved in the world with your body being in front of everyone, and as a model, as a person who has been on the forefront in so many ways. What does this mean for you in this moment?
Is my mic on? Yeah, it's on. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. What it means to me is, like the ladies with me said, freedom, but also peace. Peace to just really be able to just run toward my purpose unapologetically. Just doing me, like physically, mentally, spiritually, and all the things, and not feeling like I have to do it alone, but also just finding the community, my community that supports the things that I'm trying to do to just create that freedom and peace for myself.
I love that. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm going to come to you first, Jamara, because right now you're in the midst of something that's really, really powerful, and something that's really changing the game in so many ways. You are a Black midwife. Can we give it up for the Black midwives? Out here catching babies, right? So you've spent your career advocating for Black birth justice and community-based care.
Yes.
What would our maternal health care system look like if we were truly designed around trust, dignity, and the lived experiences of Black women? And can you tell the people what you're in the midst of doing right now to make sure that we're living towards that future?
Yes, I love this question because, as I said, we are all born. I am a Black midwife. Midwives are the oldest profession. We've been around since the beginning of time, just like Black folks, we know. And so I have the opportunity to be there at the gateway of life, right, to welcome the babies as they come in. I also have an opportunity to defend women who are birthing, to defend people who are building families, because we live in a toxic system, and we know that the toxic stress of racism is what causes the higher rates of Black maternal mortality. And so dismantling those systems of white supremacy and creating safe spaces for people to birth is what my work is all about. I've been building the movement for birth justice since 2009. And in Miami, which is the birthplace of birth justice, we are also in the midst of opening a birth center, which will be a sanctuary space for people to have dignity and respect, to access the Black midwives model of care, to have a doula if they want to have a water birth if they want to, but most importantly, to feel cared for, to feel safe, to feel that when you walk in, you are welcome, right? Because we know that oftentimes hospitals can be violent places for people to give birth. We need hospitals, right? And we don't want to disparage doctors or anything like that, but we also need midwives, and we need doulas, and we need a more holistic care system. When you look around the world, the United States has the worst outcomes when it comes to maternal health among nations with similar income, right? And so that is a choice. And most of those systems that are successful are midwife-led. So my mission is really to bring midwife care back to the community.
That's right.
As it has always been, even though they tried to destroy us, we're back. Black midwives are back, and we are caring for our communities. So that's my work.
Right. And in the state of Georgia right now, you're doing something pretty big.
Yes.
And I think it's important for us to know what's happening because you are bringing Black midwifery back. But just if you can give us a small bit of what you are doing to help shift that culture.
Yes. So Georgia has been banning midwives who are not nurses from practicing since the 1970s. And that is an injustice, it's a travesty, and it needs to change now. So on April 2nd, 2026, this year, I filed a lawsuit against the state of Georgia.
Say that.
And the purpose of that lawsuit is to make sure that midwives can practice in our communities, and so that Georgians, right, the citizens of Georgia, can have access to care without the state restricting midwives from being the primary care providers in their communities.
Can y'all say trust Black women?
Trust Black women.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Jamara, for the work that you are doing. And I want to stay in Georgia right quick and come to you, Kwajalein, because you've organized communities, influenced policy, and helped move movements forward. How does the reproductive justice framework connect issues that many people think of as separate, healthcare, voting rights, economic justice, all of those things to say the like? How do you see them as interconnected, and how are you doing that work at the Feminist Center that's now celebrating 50 years this year and doing that work?
Yes, thank you. Yes, Feminist Center for Reproductive Liberation, which was founded in 1976, has been providing compassionate abortion care, comprehensive reproductive health care, and also doing advocacy, movement building, and power building in the state of Georgia over the course of that time. And we do that work intersectionally because, as Audrey has tried to teach us over and over, we don't live single issue lives.
That's right.
We know that the very same people who come to us in need of abortion care also need diapers to care for the children that they are already parenting.
That's right.
And they want to be able to prepare for the pregnancies in their future so that they can be healthy and strong. That's right. They also need to have safe and secure places to live. They also are loved by and cared for by queer comrades and partners. Like, all of those components build up a reproductive free life, a trajectory over the course of a life course, so that you can have every resource met and you can actually make the decisions that are best for you without any outside control. So at Feminist Center, we have tried to make sure that we are listening to the needs of our community and responding in kind over the course of those 50 years. That if we are going to provide health care that is compassionate, we also need to make sure that we are present in the state capitol, so that when they are making the laws that will determine how and when and under what circumstances people get care, we are right there to tell them and to bring our patients right along with us.
That's right.
We don't speak for them, we bring them with us to make sure that they are able to tell their own stories about having the pregnancies they want with the support teams that they want, and able to go home and live full, rich lives. So I think reproductive justice calls upon us to see not just the contents of someone's body, but the fullness of their life.
Yes.
And make sure that their resources and needs are met. Black women deserve that. We are owed. We learned that on Thursday.
We are owed. Yes. I love that. Thank you, Kwajalein. I think it's really important for people to understand how expansive this work of reproductive justice is. And the quote that you brought in from Audre Lorde is so important. We cannot have single issue movements because we do not live single issue lives. And that is why it is important for Black women, when thinking about the redefinition of this moment that we're in politically, to center our leadership and our expertise, because it's something that we've always understood, right? I'm gonna take us on down further south, and Nikki, I'm coming to you. Here in New Orleans. You are here, based here in New Orleans. Can we give it up for New Orleans? Yes. So Black Gay Pride New Orleans has created space for Black LGBTQ plus folks to celebrate identity, build community, and advocate for equity. Why is creating spaces where people feel seen, affirmed, and safe an essential part of reproductive justice? And what can the broader movement learn from Black Gay Pride organizing?
Thank you for having me. That's a loaded question. But I would say it's super important that we have a broad representation. I've been in this for a long time, and I feel like we see a lot of it is male-centered.
Ooh.
And so when I started this, I was like, yes, you know, New Orleans is a very queer space, but it's very white, gay men. And then there are gay Black men here too that have space as well, but we don't see a lot of femme-presenting individuals that have space, and we don't see a lot of women that have space as well. And so I just wanted to create something that did represent everyone.
Yes.
And so that was super important to me. And then also I feel like we live in a time where being femme-presenting is very frowned upon. And so I wanted to make sure that we created space for everyone that's under that umbrella of femme-presenting, you know, identities.
Yeah.
And so I think just overall that I want people to understand that the feminine and masculine identities, they're one and the same. And so we're all fighting the same fight, and we should be able to be in community with each other and move this movement forward.
I love that. And I love what you're doing with the organizing here and creating a more inclusive space for folks to see themselves reflected, right?
Thank you so much.
And absolutely. And when I think about how our people see themselves reflected, I think about what you all are building at Spill, Kenya. And I think about how important it is for Black people, for people of color, to be able to have safe spaces, to be seen, and to organize, and to have fun. But more importantly, it is a space that is uniquely, autonomously for us. So what is at the core of Spill is the ability to tell our own stories for ourselves. So storytelling has the power to shape culture long before policy change ever does. So how can media, communications, and storytelling help people better understand reproductive justice, and why should culture leaders care about these issues, and how are you all building that at Spill?
Whew. Well, I want to first thank you for allowing us and inviting me and Spill to be a part of this road to Essence to get to this place. Because we've had an opportunity to talk about this across the country. What we've been exploring and what the wonderful women on this panel are explaining is that culture moves policy, right?
That's right.
First, right? And story is really one of the oldest organizing tools that we have.
That's it.
Right? And what we don't say enough, though, is that stories are only as powerful or as salient as the ground that they live on, which is incredibly ironic to say on July 4th, 2026, right? When we look at the power of story and how free a story can be.
Yeah.
Right now, our stories are living on platforms that are propped up by billionaires that profit by harming us.
That's real.
Right? That's true. So all y'all who are posting on Instagram and Meta and Snapchat for the vanity of it all, just know exactly what I said when I was on the stage last year, right?
Yeah.
The cultural intelligence that you're giving these platforms is propping them up and making these other folks rich off of it.
Woo.
The UCLA study that was released this year named Instagram the #1 most harmful platform on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, and what I'm here to deliver to you all, that study also named that 9 out of 10 of us have been the recipients of hate and harassment. in the last year. Last year, the stat I gave you was 1 out of every 2.
Yeah.
9 out of every 10 now, right?
Wild. It's wild.
And so the same feed that we are using to train and teach about reproductive justice and about organizations and about movements is the same feed that is harming the teacher.
Oof. Ooh.
And so we cannot afford anymore to rent our liberation on other people's platforms.
Come on.
We can't afford it.
We can't.
We can't afford it. And so that's why I'm excited to be here talking to you and with other culture leaders, because this is the call to action that we need. Now is the time. We're not renting our liberation no more. Our stories have to be rooted on solid ground.
Come
so
on.
I look forward to seeing everybody coming home to spill.
That's what I'm talking about. You better say that. Go download that thing right now, good people. Now, one of the things that I love about Spill, because I am on Spill,
She's a spillionaire.
I am a spillionaire, is the safety that it provides.
Yeah.
And what we realize is that in this work, we know that there are so many of us who aren't safe, that we are under attack in really egregious ways. And one of the things that we have to start talking more about is the fact that trans women are women who are under attack at an alarming rate, right? And I think that it's been very, very powerful to see the shift even here at Essence, to see our trans sisters in space with us and building community with us, right? Can we give a round of applause for that? But Monroe, we love to see you. This powerful, beautiful individual is on our television screens on The Shy, has been building so much powerful cultural content, right? And I know that that doesn't come without a cost sometimes. So as a trans woman whose story has reached audiences through television and media, you've helped change and challenge stereotypes simply by showing up as your authentic self. How do you think visibility in popular culture changes hearts, shifts narratives, and expands our collective understanding of bodily autonomy and reproductive justice?
Wow, thank you.
Thank
you
you
so much. And thank you. I mean, y'all are all amazing and brilliant and beautiful. So just thank you all for this space and opportunity. Visibility is so powerful because people can't empathize with what they've never been invited to see.
That's it.
And for so long, transgender people, but specifically Black transgender women, have been at the forefront of headlines and stereotypes and political talking points. But when you see us in television and film, the narrative shifts because we are now your favorite character, or we're your neighbor, or we're your friend, we're your sister. And that is the most powerful tool, right? We have to be very cognizant that visibility isn't just what you see, but it is how you interact with what you see. And that autonomy goes right in hand with reproductive justice, because if we have autonomy over how we are navigating and managing our bodies, and you see that that is the way that you are, that is gender affirming care.
Yes.
Gender affirming care is being able to have the care that you need to sustain for your identity.
That's right.
No matter what it looks like.
That's right.
And that is the importance. And so when that visibility takes place, the heart posture change, you humanize us. To not see, to erase, it is to normalize the violence that takes place.
That's real.
And so visibility is the most important tool, because if you see us, if you invite us.
That's right.
And not just equality, but equity.
Ooh.
And I want to make sure that everybody knows that, right?
That's a different
Equity
word.
is you get a pair of shoes, I get a pair of shoes. But equality is you get your size and I get my size.
Come on. Okay.
And that is why visibility is so important.
I absolutely agree with you, Monroe. Oh, that's so important. So we're going to stay in the culture conversation for a second here. And Cynthia, let me tell you something. We love watching you on the television screen, sis. We love you. And this season in particular, let me just say, as an avid Real Housewives of Atlanta fan,
Thank you.
the way that you have held down this season in particular, it's been like the epitome of trust Black women. Like, you've been able to hold and grab the sisters together in a really, really beautiful way. So I just want to name that first because y'all watch it too, right? Y'all been watching this, right? Right? But you have spent decades navigating entertainment, beauty, business, and public life. Throughout your career, you've also had to define yourself on your own terms. How has your understanding of autonomy evolved? And what has it taken to protect your voice, your identity, and your peace while living publicly?
Yes. Thank you guys for the love and support. It took me a long time, and I really appreciate this question when it comes to autonomy. I learned that I don't owe anyone the same version of Cynthia. I get to evolve. And let me say that again. I don't owe anyone the same version of me.
That's right. That's right.
I can change. I can evolve.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can reinvent. I can get married. I can get divorced.
Come on.
I can get married again.
Come on.
I can date who I want to date.
That's right.
That's right. I can be the type of mom that I want to be. That's right. I can be best friends with my daughter if I want to.
That's right.
And I don't have to explain it to anyone. And I feel like there's so much power in women just owning, can I cuss?
That's right. Yeah, you can.
Just owning their shit.
Come on.
Everybody got their own stuff. We are not the same, but we are the same in so many ways. And all I can do is the best that I can do for me, for my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm always, despite the drama that I get pulled into on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm always on a quest for peace. Because I think no matter how much success I have in my life, no matter how much money I have in my life, if I don't have peace, none of it really means anything.
Ooh.
And that's really the God's honest truth. When I decided to go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta this season as a friend of the show, that was a very intentional choice for me because I've just done it for so long as a housewife. It has been an incredible platform for me to be in a space to motivate and inspire and sometimes piss folks off, whatever it is, whatever emotion that is happening when you guys are watching this show that is a form of entertainment for our culture. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is huge for the Black culture, and it has made a lot of Black women famous. It has made a lot of Black women wealthy. It has given a lot of Black women an amazing platform all over the world. Like, we literally can't go nowhere without people.
No.
I was like, as soon as I walked on the plane to come here, this lady was like, 50 Cent, 50 Cent. I was like, oh, Lord. Anywhere I go. And that is amazing because I didn't know what my calling was from God. I just am fearless.
Yes.
Even though I'm scared. You can be fearless and scared at the same time.
Yes, you can.
Right. Every chapter of my life, I've been uncomfortable. I've never been comfortable. I was not comfortable leaving Alabama to move to New York City to pursue my modeling career, but I did it anyway.
That's right.
I wasn't comfortable pivoting, and pivoting is a huge part of my story because it's always a pivot. You got to know when you got to do something else, when you got to try something else. Going from modeling to reality TV, I was very uncomfortable there, for sure, but I did it anyway. Mm-hmm. And then I went on to acting. Very scary space for me, but I did it anyway. Yeah. And for me, I just keep going, and what I will say to you, to all of you, and I love that there's some men here as well, because I mostly speak to women because I love women and I love speaking life into us, but I also believe that a woman needs her man to understand her power, and the man also needs to be empowered to be with a powerful woman as well. So kudos to the men that are here today.
Right.
Because this thing works together. And,
absolutely.
you know, just peace at the end of the day. Be kind, you know, find your community, help folks. You know, it just doesn't cost you anything to be a good human. And I think we're at a point in this world where at the end of the day, the only thing that I really want to be around is people that really want to help other people.
I love that. I love that. So, on this panel today, we're talking about redefining the future of bodily autonomy, maternal health, sexuality, and culture for our collective liberation. And today marks 250 years of this country that we know is rooted in not our collective liberation, right? We've been having to fight for it since we were brought to this continent, stolen from our own, right? And this is also about trusting Black women and the ability for us to understand our own level of expertise and what we bring to the world. And so each of you, whether you are doing this as a practitioner, as a person who's an organizer, as a person who is building new platforms or shifting the culture, as we close out this panel, I would love for you all to answer this question with one sentence. In this 250, as we think about the next 250 years and beyond, for you, Black women, what do you think is the most important thing that we need to be doing in order to see our collective liberation? In the next 250 years and beyond, you, Black women, what do we need to see? What do we need to be doing to ensure that we are securing our collective liberation? Cynthia, can I start with you?
My answer would be to not only have a seat at the table, but to help build the table.
Absolutely. Let's build that table. Monroe, what about you, my dear sister?
Yeah, lead with love in a very clockable way.
Ooh, clockable way.
Yeah, very clockable. I need to see it. And that's coming from a clockable Black woman of trans
Yes,
experience.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love that. Yes.
Honoring the sacredness and the divinity within ourselves and building spaces for other people to be able to see themselves in their divinity and sacredness.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jamara. Kenya, what do we need to be doing?
Well, trusting Black women, one, right? And trusting Black women is transfer. Trust is transfer. Transfer of resources, right?
Ooh.
Transfer of power, right? And Brookings Institute put out a study that said that if we close the Black business ownership gap, we would be able to generate 630 million jobs, okay? $824 billion in revenue circulating. So that sounds like, to me, trusting Black women is the most savvy economic decision we can make.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
To purchase our own liberation, since cash rules everything around me.
You better drop it. I love it. Thank you, Kenya. Yes, Nikki.
I would say there would be no next 250 years without Black LGBTQIA people.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Kwajalein.
I'm going to bring in the voice of our Atlanta comrade and freedom fighter, Mary Hooks.
Yes, do it.
Who says that the mandate for Black people in this time is to avenge the suffering of our ancestors.
Yes.
To earn the respect of the next generation, and to be transformed in the service of the work. That's what I'm trying to do every single day, and that's what I hope the next 250 years brings.
I absolutely sign up for that. Can y'all please give a round of applause to these beautiful Black women? If you all do not know, SisterSong's booth, Trust Black Women Universe, is right behind you if you have not experienced it. Please make sure that you are following these amazing organizations. 50 Years of the Feminist Center, NOLA Black Gay Pride, Southern Birth Justice Network, the Spill app. Please make sure that you're on it. And of course, these culture bearers are going to continue to shift the culture because that is their superpower as well. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.